What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite wrestling podcast. It is the Monday Night Wave, baby. And we're back with the SummerSlam episode. If you're listening to this on Monday, SummerSlam happened on Saturday. And boy, do we got a lot to talk about here. Before we get into that, I want to shout out everybody who's tuning in, who's listening from Spotify, from YouTube, iHeart, and now the newly, I guess acquired Apple Podcasts. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in through the Apple Podcasts. We're now available on Apple Podcasts every Monday, so you can get these graps, or wrestle talk, whatever you want. You want to hear this luscious babyface voice, you can listen to that on Apple Podcasts now. You know what I'm talking about.
It's like audible chocolate.
But without further ado, I go by Jay. I'm the host here, co-host, music producer, wrestling head. The babyface is babyface, but I'm nothing without my partner in crime here, my co-host, the one and only. Go ahead, take it away.
Woo! I'm about to make a name for myself here. He is a wild card. He is the king of gorgeous. He is Mr. Sexiest Lottery. He is hero, and I am he. And usually I'd ask Jay, what do you want to pod about? But I'm going to hit Loner Hayes with the, let's talk about it. That was it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And let's talk about wrestling, man. It was a great week of wrestling, great pay-per-view. We got some stuff to talk about for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get into that, let's go over the news. What we got so far for the news right now?
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's high tide. We got some wave news right here. Let's get into it. All right, so let's start light. So they finally announced that's where Survivor Series is going to be. It's going to be November 30th in Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Not that far from us. So if we wanted to, we could drive. But it's cool that they're in Canada again. Don't know when the last time they've been in Vancouver, but whatever.
I'm okay with that. I definitely, when I heard the news, I was definitely looking at travel time and passports and stuff like that. Like, because it would be really dope to see that show. Because especially if we're like the lines are like, or not lines, but where the stars are going right now is that that Bloodline Civil War may happen at Survivor Series, and I think that would be dope to see in person. But on the flip side, Canada in November is peak winter. Mm-hmm. Like we think we get winters over here and we just shut down, but they get real shit. That's real cold. And I don't know. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna see what the tickets are looking like, and if things line up, I may have to go out there because that'd be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I feel that. After that, on some light news, it was announced yesterday. Joe Testator, I believe his name is. He was signed. It was talked about how he was signed like a couple months ago. I think I remember seeing it. We never talked about it, but it was announced yesterday that he is going to officially join Raw when they go to Netflix, and then Michael Cole is going to go to SmackDown, which that will be on USA in a couple weeks, I think, if not, or a month or something like that. So we're going to get a new commentary team because Pat McAfee is going to do the college stuff again. So
right.
He'll be gone for I don't know, like 7 months or whatever. But yeah, I don't know what he sounds like. I have no idea who this man is, but hopefully he's not bad. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, especially with the move of Michael Cole and him being such like an iconic voice on Raw. It may be new, but it makes me like think about like what they actually have in plan for Raw as far as, or like Raw on Netflix as far as like roster and talent and like how like this is all going to orchestrate, because it's going to be a big move. I'm predicting that first Raw on Netflix is going to hit like crazy, bro. It's going to be just absolutely nuts. Hopefully he has a good run. Definitely gonna do my Googles and check out, see what his voice sounds like. That sounds a little weird, but yeah, hopefully it works out.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to be paired with Corey, so he'll have obviously some experience. And then I think it said Wade Barrett and Cole are going to do SmackDown. So that should be a good pairing too, because Wade Barrett's really good. I like Wade Barrett as commentator.
He is good.
Yeah.
He is.
After that, we have. So yeah, it was announced that Joe Hendry, I think during an interview, he announced that TNA and WWE worked out an agreement to where he's allowed to go to the PC and work out. He can use a gym. That means he's probably also eating a catering, getting that good diet food. You know what I'm saying?
The
Good workout
macros.
food. Yeah, watching all those calories, getting all that boiled chicken in a plastic bag, no seasoning. But yeah, you and I talked about this. Like, it's like this is what I vision for the dungeon, or just a PC in general, where anybody can come, like work on your arm drugs, work on looking at where the camera's at, and all that bullshit. But this is really cool, and it's super funny because we've never seen anything like this before, at least to my knowledge. And it's like he's pretty much damn near signed. All
Right.
all he has to do is wait till that contract ends and then sign a paper. It seems like they're
If that's where they want to go.
yeah.
Like, you could still, work at the PC and still do TNA and still do like your other bookings that TNA allows them to do. Because sometimes like you don't want to end up like being the big fish, in your opponent come over to WWE and like you're not like that. Not saying that Joe Hendry's not that guy, but just saying that like if I can get the talent and get the workouts and get the reps without having to fully commit to like the WWE schedule, like that's also a win too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Joe. It seems like it's been a really good year for him. So shout out to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that when he dropped that song and then his theme song and then everything has been going. Yeah, it's been going good ever since. And
I think we've seen like the Jamal Williams clip for the Saints. Like bro, that Joe Hendry's everywhere.
Yeah,
he's
people
literally
don't watch
everywhere.
TNA. People don't watch TNA like that, but yet his name, if you believe, it has been spread across the nation.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
in the
absolutely.
World. Did I already talk about Matt and Jeff Hardy meeting officials?
No, we didn't talk about Matt.
Oh, okay. Well, Matt and Jeff Hardy apparently met with WWE officials. No idea what that means. Yeah, i.e. How do you feel?
You don't want to see 1-on-1?
I don't want.
You don't want to see the
if they're willing.
The last.
If they're willing to go to NXT, yeah.
Well, you don't want on SmackDown or Raw. You don't want to see it. You don't.
They look. I saw their run before they went to AEW, and I saw their run at AEW, and I saw what they did in TNA the last like 2 months. It's to me, I don't know. I think they both need to put on that suit jacket and start to producing, or start selling cars. But to be as respectful as possible. Like, how many chances does Jeff Hardy need until we're just like, okay, bro, you're good. Just we don't need this, or we don't need that kind of employment or play. Like, and I'm not trying to. Yeah, I'm a Jeff Hardy
get a lot
stan.
of shots.
Yeah, but he gets a lot of shots. It's like, and with all the talent that they currently have, like we just got new tag team champions on SmackDown. We'll talk about it. There's still a lot of young ass talent, so it's like I feel like it would be almost a similar predicament that they had in AEW. It's like, besides injuries and whatnot, like where do they fit on this card? Are they
and how do they want to be pushed and used?
Exactly. So it's like because you guys are old, so if you're not willing to like put over the younger talent, then with your guys' physique and the way you walk and the way you move in the ring, again, I'm not trying to slander, but it just does not hit, and it's like. I don't know. To me, having them wouldn't be bad, but also it's the same thing where it's like we don't need you, or I don't know why you're saying we. They don't need you. Similar to like what we said with Brock. Like business is great. Can he help? Absolutely. Will he sell out a show? Sure, but the business is booming so big. Like they don't need to bring him out at any. They don't need to bring him out. Similar to that.
What my little 2 cents before we get off this topic is that. I do believe that they are, legends. I do believe that they are definitely WWE Hall of Famers and they should be inducted. But with that being said, it's also like I don't want to see them come into SmackDown and like squash Pretty Deadly. Talent that I know should be ready to like get up there and compete for tag belts and whatnot. But based on the way that like I've seen WWE book things and how they use certain characters, I could see the Hardys come back and beefing with Pretty Deadly in a tag match and whatever for a couple weeks. And then I don't know what that does for Pretty Deadly themselves. besides the fact that you get to wrestle the Hardys, which is like every tag team's like, dream is to like wrestle like the Hardys, FTR, like, these legendary like tag teams. It's just, I just don't know if I want to see that. On the other side of that, Matt and Jeff also fit WWE's like work schedule. Like, you don't have to go out and bust ass like you would in AEW and do all these crazy spots. You can do, your 3-4 speed, matches and stuff like that, and still get over and still have like a solid pop.
They will die if they try to do a speed match.
Yeah, not speed, literally WWE speed, but putting them in them fast paced matches is kind of crazy. I do want to see Jeff Hardy versus Javon Evans. I think I would enjoy that.
That'd be cool. Look, look, if they're gonna sign him. I mean, Raw is 3 hours, so I would say at least go to Raw so that you're not taking up time on SmackDown, especially now that Roman's back. Like, there's only going to be so many people that get TV time on SmackDown at this point when it comes to the Bloodline segments. But, I mean, I don't know. I'd send them NXT. Y'all better be ready to put some people over, especially after the way Jeff left last time. Well, you just like dipped on a house show.
Left, I forgot about that. Yeah,
and he was the next person that was about to fight Roman. Like they were starting to like he was going to get a push. He was about to have a Roman match. He would have lost.
I forgot that's how he left.
He was going to fight Roman at some point, and then he just dipped at house. Like that's what he's like. I don't know. I'd keep them in NXT. You stay. I don't want you traveling nowhere. You stay the fuck in Florida. That's what I do. Keep them in NXT. They can help with the talent there. Have a little run like how OC is there or what New Day did, and then depending on behavior, then maybe I'll put you on Raw or some shit.
Fair enough.
Okay. Oof. I mean, these last two things, they're both pretty decent. How about this? Tony Khan breaks the internet for a couple hours.
Woo! Here comes the money.
Yeah, it was on TMZ. It was on some other stuff, but he and Shane were having a meeting. How do you feel about it? I mean, it literally could mean nothing. And then Bully Ray talked to Shane, and Shane pretty much was a nothing quote, but it was just like, yeah, we were just talking. He loves the wrestling business, and I love it too. We just want to see what it's like if things grow or some bullshit. I don't know. It was really non-answer.
I personally actually came to a realization yesterday, and it was after the Triple H press conference where I believe Denise Salcedo asked him about the relationship with like TNA and how he said like he's looking to work with anybody to how this is going to help the brand, how this is going to help their brand, how it's going to help our brand. He's looking at everything from a big picture angle. And so in my head, I'm like, well, of course it doesn't work with AEW because, technically there's some beef there, which there is no goddamn beef. But I feel like with the acquisition of a Shane McMahon, you could tie that knot. Shane could be the catalyst to an AEW WWE like crossover because Shane's one of the legends in WWE. I mean, you're also like close in with like family and whatnot. Like, if you want to do this, we can do this with Shane as the middleman to help orchestrate this. Otherwise, if it's Tony Khan and talking to Nick Khan or talking to Triple H, I don't think that happens. I do think it's a higher possibility if it's like Shane as the mediator between the two. And that's how we can probably get, the Kenny versus Seth. We can get those kind of matches that we've been dreaming about, which will never happen if this partnership doesn't work. So I'm for it. If it's for Shane coming in and helping out the business of AEW, which they definitely need as far as like, the money outlook. I believe there was a report that said like 55% of the revenue went to like talent salaries and whatnot, which is a lot of money going to, talent salaries. And this is prior to the WBD deal. So maybe like once they get the deal, those numbers kind of like, that looks incremental compared to what they're getting from Warner Bros. But I'm for it. I think Shane could definitely help out AEW a lot. I was excited when I seen it because I thought this was going to be really dope. It's somebody who's well trusted in the wrestling world. I just don't want to see him as like a talent. I don't want to see Shane wrestling anybody in AEW though, just purely backstage.
Yeah, that's why I'm on the fence about it. I think his name and his face recognition can definitely help. I mean, I don't think it's going to get them. I don't think it's like depending on things are booked. I think his face and his name could definitely help. But yeah, I don't want to see him as a talent either. And also, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, what is he going to do? If it's not like a. But okay, I don't want to see him as a talent, but I feel like everyone is going for like, oh, he should be the heel authority. But last time I checked, for years, people hated that concept. At least when it came to WWE, they hated that concept. So to me, it feels like there's some backpedaling with that fantasy booking. I don't know, because I don't want to see a heel authority figure either. I don't think AEW needs that right now, and to me it will make it seem too much like WWE, and it's supposed to be an alternative. Last time I checked, so you don't want to mimic anything that WWE does or did, at least not like that. I don't know. Yeah,
not from the booking aspect.
Yeah,
business wise, yes.
Yeah, I'm indifferent. I just want to know, or I just got to see it, I guess, and just let it play out. But I mean, it broke the internet for a hot second. It was an interesting thing, and it's I don't know how true it is, but Mercedes said that she was the one that helped this meeting happen, which it doesn't, which makes sense based off of when the rumors sparked the other month that she was in the airport with Shane, and then there was rumors that Shane was going to go to AEW or some shit. Now we finally got the meeting, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see what that fucking means, though. But.
Yeah, we'll see. I want to. Hopefully, it's good for business. I'll just reiterate again. Please, no action, Shane. I don't want to see Darby Allin versus Shane McMahon. I don't need that in my life. Please keep Darby away from Shane.
Yeah, man. I mean, we saw what happened last time he was in a ring. Honestly. Yeah. And again, no slander, but you probably shouldn't be in the ring like that. At least be an attraction or something, like in-ring attraction, I guess. But yeah. All right, last thing, and it's kind of a big thing. Apparently, Britt Baker. Well, it's not even apparent. Britt Baker was suspended after having a verbal conflict with MJF. The story came out yesterday, or no, it came out Friday. That a couple weeks ago, it was the show, the Little Rock,
the 250.
Yeah, the 250. With, Britt Baker was talking. Apparently, according to sources, Britt Baker was in the women's locker room talking about MJF. His girlfriend, who I believe is a interviewer, Alicia, she heard it. She told MJF. He went to the women's locker room. Whether he got permission or he barged in, that part is still unknown. But he went to the women's locker room. They had a verbal confrontation, and then a wall was punched. And now Britt is suspended. So a lot of people are confused on why she's just the one suspended. Like, there's a lot of... Because AEW, when it comes to drama, they are pretty good at keeping it hush-hush for the most part, besides like CM Punk and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, this isn't Britt's first, like, backstage incident as far as possible bullying or verbal conflicts or anything like that, but seeing MJF involved, and it's given there's half the internet's like, this seems kind of misogynistic, like why is he going to the women's locker room and it's threatening to punch a wall in front of a person and all this other stuff, and then why is she the only one suspended, and the other half is just confused. I don't know, how do you feel about this news?
I don't know what to believe, because like the internet takes stories and just runs with it. So I'll just speak on like what I'm just hearing, whether it's factual or not. If first off, as like, the locker room, whatever's saying in the locker room, usually like, hey bro, that's how this person feels. That's how this person feels. Unless it gets like physical, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't see Britt Baker going up to MJF and like trying to start something physical. I don't know. And I also don't know what you could possibly say in the locker room that would be like, oh, as a girlfriend, I'm just going to run in and tell somebody, which is also kind of crazy because, like, I'm in the locker room. I wasn't talking to you. I definitely not. If she's airing out MJF in front of, like, just talking to the girlfriend, that's crazy. So I'm pretty sure this was a situation, like, maybe Alicia was, like, ear hustling something, heard something. It's like, I don't like that. I'm going to go talk to MJF. And then MJF just barges his way into the woman's locker room, which is fucking crazy. Yeah. It's like, what could she have possibly said that would have made you, like, I got to go inside the women's locker room and, like, try to punch a wall to like show my dominance? Like, that's fucking weird, bro.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's off-putting. Allegedly, it was about him wrestling for an hour and taking up time. And it's not the first time she said some stuff about like there's ever since the news came out, there's like been people like reposting old interviews and stuff like that where she says multiple times like how she's irritated with the constant 30-minute promos and all this other stuff, and it's like you're taking up women's time. And I mean, when we talked about the 1 hour match, that's something I said similar. Is like this could have been a 30-minute match. We could have still got another women's match. We could have got something else. It didn't have to be an hour. And if that's what she's if that's what she allegedly complained about, like to me, it's not a fact. It's a fact, and also that's nothing to have an argument about. I don't think, but you know, all that is alleged. But if that's what,
especially with like they're doing the match again, like so you're doing MJF versus Ospreay for 60 minutes, and then you're gonna do, you know, MJF versus Ospreay at All In. It's like, yes, she's currently correct. Why do you get to have the 60-minute match and the pay-per-view like in the same like format? In the same format. She's right to air her grievances. Like it wasn't nothing crazy. Like that's just a fact. There's some women on the roster that need to, you know, have some time.
Yeah. And whether it's in ring or whether it's promo, like you don't need to open the show every week with a 20-minute.
This is not it's also not like an AEW thing either. There's been multiple stories within WWE as well where like talent has got their time cut. Women's matches have got their time cut several times. So it's just a women. I stand with Britt and how she's speaking up for women's wrestling, and like our time is just as equal as theirs. I'm cool with that.
Facts. But yeah, and I mean, we'll see what happens. It looks like it's supposed to be a small suspension because she is supposed to still the match with her and Mercedes. Yeah, the All-In match is still supposed to happen. So it'll be fine. It's just really that's just an interesting something to keep a lookout or eye on for. But yeah, that's all the news. So.
You know what time it is? SummerSlam time. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Cleveland. This is for you.
Let's not talk about Cleveland. Let's just talk about the show.
Rhea versus Liv, man.
Yeah.
Kick off the show, which is great. I was a little interested in seeing how this match was going to go because this is Rhea's first match back. I want to see like what was like her win, her stamina, like how was she able to move in the ring and whatnot. And it was a cool match, man. I did like this match as an opener for sure.
It was better than I anticipated. I mean, I love Rhea Ripley. But yeah, it was a better match than I thought. It outdid my expectations. It was a good match. They worked. They sold the shoulder. There was a moment where it was quote unquote out of socket. I don't think it really was, but yeah, like she was selling the shoulder. She did like a one-armed. What's that damn move called? Her damn submission move. Oh, Prism Lock. She did like a one-arm Prism Lock, so she like couldn't
Prism
get
Lock.
And
it was dope.
Yeah, good. Yeah, awesome match. Brought the drama at the end because Liv tries to go for it, which this part was a little weird to me because like the ref didn't try to take the chair at all from either person, which is just very, very, very weird. But yeah, Liv grabs a chair. She's going to try to hit Rhea with it. Rhea says, fuck that, essentially. Knocks the chair out. Hits her with a quick-ass riptide. But instead of going for the pin, she wants revenge, and she's about to grab the chair. And Dirty Dom is like, no, you can't win this way. You can't, like, calm down. You can't win this way. And then this sneaky, slimy son of a bitch, he walks to the other ring. He slides the chair in, distracts the ref, and we get an Oblivion on the chair, which looked fantastic.
Clean.
Man,
so
we all
clean.
know Rhea can sell, man. And yeah, Liv retains. And like you can see Dominik like kind of like smile and is like, oh shit, it's happening. And yeah, he picks Liv up and then we get the kiss, dude. We get the consensual kiss.
The consensual kiss. I don't know. Wrestling kisses make me cringe anyway. Like it's just, it don't matter who it is. But I was watching, I was like, this is dirty. But that's the emotion that you wanted in that. It's like this motherfucker is grimy for this, bro. Like, this is what you chose. And I'm cool with it, man. Like it's entertaining as fuck. I will give it that. We've been talking about like a couple weeks ago or multiple weeks ago where it's like, oh, you know, they want to see them or want to see the kiss happen between Rhea and like Dom, and then to not get that between Rhea and Dom, and it's actually between Dom and Liv, it was like, oh shit. And the fact that she was caught off guard by it. She was so like stuck in like, what, wait, this is happening? Like, it wasn't like it wasn't like she initiated the kiss. It was like this is Dom's choice of who he wants to like, be with and whatnot. And yeah, based on like the theme of Judgment Day throughout this pay-per-view, this was definitely the first domino. This was this was the domino that let me know that this is going to be a crazy pay-per-view for Judgment Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Because before the next match, we get a quick backstage segment where Damian comes in the clubhouse and he's pissed. He's like, "Where's he at? Where's he at?" He grabs Finn by the shirt. This is like the 8th time he's disrespected Finn in a couple months.
Yeah, bro. Like, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna check you sometime, bro. You can't keep touching me, man. Like,
for real, bro. Just because you tall.
And then blaming like, "Oh, did you know about this?" It's like he was like, "Nah, bro, I didn't know about this, man." Like,
answer the question.
Like, chill out.
Yeah, bro.
Relax.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Get your hands off me.
For real. But Damian was pissed. But next match.
Where do you think this goes?
Before
we get to the next, where do you think this goes? How does this play out?
I think we might get a mixed tag. I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't get at least one mixed tag match with like the Terror Twins, Rhea and Damian versus Finn and Liv or some shit, or Liv and Dom. Probably Finn and Liv, based on what Finn does to Dane. But I feel like we got to get at least one mixed tag, and then Bad Blood's coming up after Bash and Blur, which seems like Bad Blood might be like how Backlash has like a lot of rematches. Bad Blood might be similar, or just might be like more grudge matches. But yeah, we might get the rematch, maybe like in a cage or something. I don't know, or with the stipulation.
Do we get the Jay Rhea versus Liv Dom? Like, do they rehash that?
I think I don't see why not. I mean, it's exactly what happened right before Judgment Day formed, when Liv and Finn were teaming up against the newly formed Judgment Day against Edge and Rhea and Damian. So I don't see why they wouldn't run that back, especially after what happens on the show. But as far as like the true ceiling of this, I have no idea. I have no idea. It seems like Finn's probably going to be the leader, which I'm fine with, especially if he's taken more seriously. But yeah, they still have the tag team champions. So I mean, I feel like he still has to focus on that division. Otherwise, unless they do like Freebird it, where someone else can hold the title.
You gotta have Liv and Dom open the show on Monday.
Yeah,
that has to be the opening, yo. Like that's gonna set the tone for the energy in the show. That pop is gonna be fucking crazy. The boos are gonna be insane. We thought he was gonna boo before. Now it's a wrap for Dom. Ultimate heel.
I'd have Finn too. I would have those three start the show and be like,
come out. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, Liv and Finn's been playing this the whole time. Dom finally joined on board because he wants to be treated differently, or yada yada yada. Yeah,
he been saying like, you're mine. So now Dom is now in the. It's fucking funny. From sub to Dom, he is now like he is the guy right now. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe he was tired of like, I'm always second fiddle. Like, you telling me what not to do. She over here telling me I can do this. I can go beat Jakes. I can go to get a belt. She's helping the homies get a belt. What have you done? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
like.
And a lot of chicken tenders.
She got us chicken nuggets and PlayStations. Like, bro, like
PlayStation 5.
You ain't never popped off like this. Like,
yeah, PlayStation 5 has been out for years. Why don't you give me one? But yeah, next match, man. Breakker and Sammy. This was the shortest match on the card, and it was fast. It was fast paced. It was good though. It was good as shit. What did you think about it?
I did want it to be a little bit longer, but I understand the angle here. I understand that we already did it before. This one, it has to be the one where Bron is learning from his mistakes and he's going to come out on top. I knew once Sammy went to go set up that haluva kick that was going to turn into a spear. Like something about like just the way that I saw everything play out. I was like, oh yeah, he's about to spear the fuck out of him through this fucking kick.
Mm-hmm.
I am hyped for an IC run with Bron Breakker. This is going to be a pretty solid run if they book it correctly. And I say if they book it correctly, I mean that wholeheartedly 100% because I feel like the booking for the champions has been a little lackluster to me personally. If you're not Cody, I feel like everybody else is kind of like just trying to figure their way out through like these, these premium live events. But you can't do that with Bron. Don't fumble Bron Breakker. He has too much heat. Throw him against anybody. It doesn't matter. If you got to run Ilya a couple times, I don't give a damn. Make sure that Bron Breakker is looking like he's about to be the next like big guy. I don't need a Gunther run either. I don't need like 300 plus days.
No, we don't. No, it doesn't need to be long, but it definitely should be,
impactful. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, absolutely impactful or prominent, dominant, whatever. I feel like they should turn him face or make him a tweener at least relatively soon, just because of how. And we talk about this a lot, especially on both shows. But like he's really cool, so people don't want to boo him.
Right.
Like all Cleveland was barking, So I feel like at some point, with this title, I feel like they have an opportunity where they could do it. Like we could see him versus like a Bronson Reed.
Yeah, I see that.
Him and Sheamus would be dope too, or I think they already did that. But him and Sheamus would be dope regardless, anyway, because Sheamus puts on bangers. But yeah, either way, he gets that spear from the Luva kick, and then he does a second spear, a la Roman, and we get a new IC champion, and Bron Breakker, is the new IC champion. I don't think they're gonna fumble it, but I am curious to see how this run is gonna go. Because there's not too many challengers set up in the mid card right now. There was Ilya. We know we're gonna get the Ilya feud, but
is Shinsuke on SmackDown or he's on Raw?
He's on SmackDown, but mostly he's on vacation. But I
don't know then.
Yeah,
I don't know where you would go with
this.
There's
not a lot of people in the mid, or just they can always heat somebody up. It's just like as far as competition right now is like after the Ilya feud, then what? But that's not that's their problem to figure out. But after the Ilya feud,
exactly,
who's he gonna fight after that? Again, we can get a Bronson Reed, we can see him fight somebody bigger than like a Sheamus. But the mid card on Raw is kind of slim right now as far as like how people, because Gable's tied up with Wyatt stuff, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But if this show gave us anything, it's a huge there's some resets. Like this, it feels like we're in a new season of a TV show right now. Like there's some,
and that's my
resets.
issue is that Mania was supposed to be the reset, and like nothing of significance really happened for any of these champions during the reset. And I say that lightly, but it's like Sammy's biggest feud was Braun. I feel like that was the one that was like the, oh shit, we're paying attention like Sami Zayn and what's going on here, especially after the Gunther win. But none of them, I don't feel like had like crazy like stories tied to them. The defenses were short. There's a lot of like maybe you defended it 4 times, maybe 3. I think I counted 3 for like Bayley yesterday. So like I don't know. I just don't know how they're booking these champions. Like it's a lot of talking and not a lot of like, okay, I'm putting this IC belt on the line tonight. Let's go get it kind of thing.
Well, Sammy also had Gable. I thought, out of all the besides Cody, out of the champions that we did have, I thought Sammy was booked really. He was booked really strong, and I felt like he had a strong. He seemed like a strong champion.
He did, and he was. I'm not saying like it was a bad like reign. I'm just saying like the inconsistency between like how all the champions were booked is like the big thing for me.
Yeah, well, we had Logan, which we'll get into. But that was that match. And speaking of it, it's the next match. So Logan comes out. He comes out with MGK because that's a crazy big surprise. We never seen him in fucking WWE before. Then LA Knight comes out, or he comes with the stolen Prime truck that he Prime Hummer, I think it was, or something. And he
something like that. It's what he stole on SmackDown.
Yeah, and he breaks the window, which those were some strong windows. Then again, they were tinted, so. But man, how'd you feel about this match?
We talk about the super boos in the crowd for Logan Paul. Like it seemed like the heat was hotter than what it was before.
And rightfully so. He came out as a damn transphobe 2 days ago and being stupid online, and then also what happened with the Trump stuff, and then just combined his overall life of just being an internet troll and disrespectful. Like he was literally getting in everyone's good graces this last like 2 years, and then he fucked up in like 3 months.
That's just Logan Paul.
Yeah.
That's just who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the moves were rightfully so. I think everybody at this point in time was definitely ready for the belt to come off of Logan.
Yeah.
They start off the match where like the belt doesn't even ring, and they're just fighting each other, like and still like the little ring attire and whatnot. Like they're just scrapping. I personally felt like the match was good. In particular, and I hate saying it because I really don't like dude, but the springboard moonsault was fucking crazy. It was
fire.
That was dope.
It was fire.
And I can say that while not liking dude, that was tight. I still don't fuck with you, but that was cool.
And ring wise was amazing. Everything else, dude, you got it, man.
And the thing is, like, they knew what they were doing with somebody who can hold the belt for 300 plus days with only having 2 title defenses. Like, they knew that, like, we just need him to talk.
Yeah.
And he's going to generate, like, just heat and shit like that.
Yeah.
So he did his job. As far as being a WWE superstar, he did his job as far as, like, getting eyes on the product. As a United States champion, bottom tier for me. Just because I don't feel like you did anything with this reign, and it was 300 plus days, and 2 title defenses is fucking nuts. But for the business of WWE, you probably did great for them. And I know that because everybody was on your podcast. Like, you had Triple H on the podcast, you were Roman Reigns on the podcast. I think Randy was on there at a point in time too. Like,
Randy,
like
Seth,
you were
Cody.
You were using your platform to also accelerate the platform of WWE, which, kind of makes sense. It's a trade-off. Like, they're on your podcast, you have the fucking Prime logo in the ring, but as far as like a person and like a general human being, bro, fuck out here. Like, I don't need to see Logan for a minute, bro.
Yeah,
go ahead and do your thing.
They should keep him away for a while. But yeah, I agree. It was a good match. It was a good back and forth. Logan, there's a point in time where LA attacks Logan's friends. I don't know their names. We don't need to know their names. And then MGK hands Logan the brass knucks, and due to the angle that they were at, because someone was like, "Oh man, he no-sold brass knucks," but if we're gonna be scientific about this, due to the angle, he was not able to get enough trajectory in force with that blunt object to that man's forehead. And LA Knight he doesn't have a McDonough head, but his head is kind of big. But he kind of no sells a brass knucks hit, but we get a sexy ass BFT, and we get a new LA. He pulled out like a new move or two in here, and we said it before, and I just want to reiterate, like, he has been firing on all cylinders, damn near pretty much since January, all year. And this
can I say something controversial?
Yeah, what's it?
Can I say something mad controversial about this? And not about like LA Knight, but more so for him. LA Knight is fuck it, bro. LA Knight has more aura and more like appeal and heat than Cody Rhodes right now. I feel like LA Knight is the it person on SmackDown. I feel like, when it comes to promos, when it comes to interacting with like his opponents, when it comes to barring up his other opponents, nobody's really fucking with LA Knight on SmackDown. And I think he has more aura than Cody Rhodes right now. That's how I feel about that.
You are entitled to your opinion. You are wrong, but you're not. I love LA Knight, but yeah, if we're like, if Cody's 1A and Roman's like a 1A or a 1B or whatever, then LA Knight would be like a 1C. He's over as fuck. I mean, he's been over for over a year, which is why like this win, like this was a good reward. Like, he deserves like to be over. Like, he's been over ever since the Wyatt feud. And like, yeah, everyone says he's over as fuck.
I think I'm telling you, you put a room full of yes and a room full of Cody's, like,
the woes are gonna hit harder, bro. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. It's crazy to say that, because that means, in my opinion, like, LA Knight has the same pull as a world champion right now. And he's doing it at the mid-card level and still maintaining his heat, which is also very, very fucking like that's hard to do. But yeah, I'm excited for the LA Knight United States run, man. I think this is gonna be great. I think that if you want to, you could run back, you know, when AJ gets back from Japan or wherever, like you can run that back again. There's a lot of options. Santos, there's a lot of options in the mid card range of SmackDown that you can definitely do.
Yeah,
I'll be here for it.
Yeah, I want to see him and Santos again. Well, I don't need to see it again, but it seems like that was kind of set up similar to like the Ilya and Braun thing.
Right.
Him and Carmelo Hayes will be good.
Yep.
Him and Andrade. The mid card on SmackDown, there seems to be a little more people in the mid card on SmackDown compared to Raw.
Yeah.
So I think LA Knight has, plus as a face, I think he has a decent amount of challengers. And we'll see the belt on every show for the most part, so that's good.
I'm telling you, this man's about to go on a crazy fucking run. If they book it correctly, LA Knight is going to be undeniable.
Yeah, I feel it.
In my personal opinion.
All right. I feel you. I love LA Knight. So yeah, after that we get Bayley versus Queen Nia Jax. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, shout out to Nia, man. Nia like is. We talk about it. We give her praise all the time, but just like from a year ago to now, or like 2 years until now, she's night and day. Like she is engaging. She's selling. She's like orchestrating. Like the chemistry was insane. Like Nia is definitely like, if there was a most improved like award for WWE, I would give it to Nia. Absolutely.
Okay, I can see that. We both praised her a lot. Similar to LA Knight, I think this was like a reward for what Nia has been doing ever since her return. And she's been good. I think she still needs to work on some character stuff, because like that side by side with Bayley the other week was kind of it showed that she still has some areas to grow in. But other than that, this was good. We're gonna get some cool shenanigans with her and Tiffany. So I see that's another reason why I feel like Nia also won, just for those storylines, because Nia gave her a pink briefcase, which we both talked about was going to happen.
Yeah,
case too.
And to touch on that real quick, the case is dope. I don't think the cash in will happen anytime soon. If I would assume somewhere around Mania. And I'll say this because I looked at the briefcase online. I saw how much it costs and whatnot, and then it was like, this thing won't ship out until like December 28th or some shit like that, like 18th or something. So they're in production with the briefcase. So let's just take some business knowledge here. And like, if the briefcase not going to come out into people's hands until December, you got to milk this thing out. Yeah. You got to like have it get in people's hands before you can cash it in. Otherwise, what's the point of giving the briefcase? So this is going to be a pretty solid run with, the briefcase and Nia and Tiffy. Like, they're going to have a storyline, I would assume, until Mania. Tiffy probably catches in at Mania, or maybe the Raw after Mania or SmackDown after Mania. But it's going to be a pretty substantial run for sure. Yeah,
I think so too. And just for the comedic stuff, like, storyline stuff, and on top of the business thing that you just said, that makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Honestly, I think that's what we should do.
This is what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiffy in the bank, like she's gonna walk around with this briefcase everywhere. Like the merch number is about to be crazy. Like it's gonna be nuts, y'all. The buckle bomb in this match from Bayley was insane. Like the Bayley walking out with Nia on her shoulders for the power bomb is fucking dope. That was fucking cool to see.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
Followed up by a pop up by Nia. Like me and power bombs, man. Like that's my shit. And so when it's executed perfectly, I love seeing good power bombs. Like, especially in the women's division, like this shit was tough.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed the idea of Nia, not the idea, but the fact that Nia did get the win in this with 3 annihilators, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the double up right before the pin was like, I got to make sure you are down. So if I got to do this shit twice, 3 times, I'm going to make sure you out. And nobody's gotten up for 2 to 3 annihilators.
Yeah, I mean, Bayley kicking out of 1 was fucking wild.
1 was nuts.
It was wild.
Insane, yo.
Good. Yeah, that was a good pop. Good match. I mean, shout out to Bayley. Bayley's goated. Love Bayley. didn't. They could have done this title run a little better, in my opinion. But
yes,
it's
they can.
It's Bayley. She'll be back here for sure. She'll be back in that spot again.
I hate seeing Bayley get robbed. Like, I feel like her momentum from winning Royal Rumble wasn't as high as it should have been. The match at Mania was good, but I think the build could have been a lot higher. By the time they're building this Rock, Roman, Cody stuff, like she's fallen to the wayside as being like the Royal Rumble winner. And then we see the matches that she got, which was like she fought Trent for the belt, then she did Naomi and Tiffy, not Trent, but she did Naomi, then did Naomi and Tiffy, and then she did Piper, and that was it. Like the run could have been a little bit better. Like none of these were like any kind of major storylines for Bayley. I just need something. I needed them to do a little bit better for her. Like she deserves it. Like she is a phenomenal worker. She carried the pandemic era. Like she's able to be the Swiss Army knife to where whether you want her to be a heel or a face, like she can work all angles. She can work anybody. But for some reason, like this is what we give her. And maybe that's not it. Maybe that's just how like I see it, like the optics. And maybe backstage she could be getting treated like the greatest. But just from perspective of just watching Bayley, like she needed something better than this.
Yeah,
personally.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that, yeah, because there was no really crazy significant storylines or anything. And there would be times where we only saw her for a hot second backstage just talking to Naomi. It's like, this is the champion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I'm... And this is what I mean by, like, we give H a lot of slack and a lot of leeway with, like, the booking. But sometimes we can be critical of, like, hey, what was, like, a bad run? Not saying everything that Triple H is doing in WWE is bad, because it's not. Some of it's working really fucking well. But at the same time, we can definitely be, subjective when we see something that's like not really panning out. Drew Punk.
Man. I'm gonna start off.
Let's talk about it.
Seth looked amazing.
The Beetlejuice theme ref gear.
Man, bedazzled ref shirt with the Renaissance pants. Man, he had that shit on. But man, yeah, this match was. Damn, you got the NASCAR in the background.
God damn.
Yeah, man, this match was really fucking good. Punk to look really good out there. He looked healthy as shit for the most part. Seth, he didn't have too many shenanigans. He was as neutral as possible. What do you think about this? Because I'm mostly going to talk about Seth.
I know. I feel like off rip the heat was there where they just come out immediately and start beating on each other, right? So we definitely got like the animosity and like the I hate you energy there.
Yeah.
It kind of tapered off a little bit. I would assume just because like, this is Punk's first time being in the ring in a really long time. Like, so he was definitely
a WWE ring. We don't want the AEW fans come at you like he did wrestle.
WWE ring. All right. So he was definitely like, catching his breath, breather. At some points he did look a little gassed out there. Fuck it. I don't feel like the payoff was worth it. I don't think that this was it for me. I feel like 8 months of build up, 6 or whatever, however long it's been. I don't think this was like the payoff. I think you keep edging people, bro. Because now it's like, here we are, like we get Drew Punk, they get in the ring, more story. And I'm fine with that. This is Triple H. It's long-term booking. I understand WWE, so don't come at me. I already know how this shit goes. But it's the fact that, like, there's no definitive, like, ending, I guess. Drew got his win, and you can see Drew's very happy about getting his win over Punk, which is, I think this is what Drew needed, because he has been getting fucked over for, like, the past, like, 6 months. So Drew definitely needed to get this one. One thing I will say I did love about this was Punk's level of, like, I don't give a shit. Like, he was definitely like the aggressor. He's going to like, hey, what the hell are you doing with that bracelet on? Like, why you got that on? And I'll press you immediately, right?
Yeah.
So I know that this wasn't necessarily like the wrestling match, but more so the entertainment match. This was the build up to more story. This is the shit that I seen was this is their Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels thing between Punk and Seth Rollins, which I can completely see that there. I also saw like the Bret Hart or Hart Foundation themed gear by Punk, which was fucking fire.
Yep.
That shit was clean. They do that shit in a figure. I'm going to pick that up. That shit was hard. But I just feel like the payoff just wasn't worth it, man. I feel like this build up just, especially because it's over the bracelet, right? This whole thing was going back and forth about this bracelet, but there was no really big significance. At least I felt like for the bracelet. I feel like the bracelet popped up somewhere around Money in the Bank, maybe after Money in the Bank. We don't know exactly where the bracelet was from as far as like the storyline. We just know what they told us.
A fan made it, I think it was a fan made thing.
And here's the thing with that is that like the whole idea of like, if I'm supposed to care about this bracelet, we need to have like maybe like a clip of this fan giving Punk this bracelet. Maybe like him coming out before Money in the Bank or before anything. Like, yeah, this bracelet, I wear this with me everywhere because I feel like it's making me stronger or whatever. Something to give me some emotional connection for this bracelet. And then to just see that the match is wrapped around this bracelet that I don't really like care for, it's kind of crazy. Like, it was so strong and it was so crazy that he stopped his submission hold for this bracelet.
Yeah.
Like, so like, I need to know, well, goddamn, who gave it? Where this shit come from? Why is it so strong? Who is this fan? Is this fan a daughter? Is this like, who is this? Why is it so important? So that's how I personally feel about it. I feel like the payoff wasn't high enough. I don't feel like this bracelet was that important prior to anything. And if it was, like, it needed to be said by Punk more so than Drew making it important. Because the nigga stealing your shit and making it more important for the people doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, you should be the one coming out there and be like, give me my goddamn bracelet. But the entire time was that they just wanted to fuck each other up. It wasn't even about the bracelet. They just hated each other. So maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. But that's just how I feel.
No, I don't. I think you're pretty on target. I mean, CM Punk did mention, I want to say it was the promo with Seth where he brought up Seth's daughter. He's like, yeah, that's what that bracelet means to me. But you're right. Like, they could have added more layers to it to where, like, because that's just one promo. And that's on a 3-hour show. It's easy to forget that shit. They could have, they could have made it more. They could have made it so that we're more attached to the story of him really being attached to the bracelet. And with the way this match ends, Drew still has it. So as far as like the payoff goes of what you're talking about, we might get the rematch at like Bad Blood. We might get the cage match or the Hell in a Cell that fan was fantasy booking. I don't know if this is the last match. They might do the 3-peat, but I agree with you as far as like the importance of the said bracelet, because I mean, and there's themes to this. I mean, there's always been like, I feel like the year of 2024 in WWE, the one of the themes has been people letting their emotions blind them, and because of that, they fucked up. And that's what happened to Drew at Mania. It's happened to Drew multiple times in this whole feud. But Punk let the same thing happen. Like, Drew took out the bracelet, Seth picked it up and put it on instead of like throwing it outside, which I think was more respectful technically. And yeah, in mid submission, Punk sees it and he just stops, and then GTS Seth. You know, it's like you lost.
And not a
focus.
Fucking stomp.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Your boy don't retaliate. What are we talking about? He rolls out the ring and walks away.
Yeah,
man.
Hey man,
what?
Hey,
bro.
What? Yeah, I feel it. I was hot. I was hot. I was like, I was waiting for it because I was like, okay, he's down. Like, let's get the stomp. He deserves a stomp. But I think there's still this long-term storytelling. I think there's still
just edging, bro. They're still
waiting.
Edging.
Yeah,
it's like fuck, bro. Like we here SummerSlam. He talking about y'all gonna respect me in the match. Before the match starts, y'all gonna respect my opinion, respect me. Be prior to the SummerSlam, that Raw, y'all gonna respect what I got going on this ring. Comes out, get GTS and rolls out the ring and walks away.
Yeah, that's
Seth freaking Rollins. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. I get it. Like I said, because I just know the WWE thing. Like we want you to tune in to the SummerSlam, then tune into the Raw, which you're gonna give you 4 weeks until the next pay-per-view. You're gonna tune into that pay-per-view, and then we're gonna stomp them out. Like, it's just like, fuck, bro. This is the big moment. We could have ended it with like Seth, like, no, I don't fucking play that, bro. There's consequences.
Yeah.
There's consequences, right? You got GTS. What's the consequence, Seth? What are we talking about?
He gotta, you know, he an architect. He gotta think it up, bro.
What are we talking about?
He gotta
Bro, if
build
you don't come out here and what Blonde Street Seth will never let that happen.
it. Absolutely not.
Otherwise, though, I did enjoy the entertainment aspect of this match. It wasn't a bad match to me. It was very much, you know, fulfilling storylines, planting more seeds and whatnot. I am happy to see Punk actually in ring wrestling. So hopefully we get to see more of that like happen. Maybe like, you know, on a Raw or something like that. I just don't think the next time Punk should wrestle will be at a pay-per-view. He needs to be wrestling sometime in between. But the thing is, we're also gonna get some kind of DQ. It's probably gonna be like, oh, Seth versus somebody or Drew versus Punk in a rematch at some point, and it's gonna end in DQ on Raw or something like that. But he has to get in the ring. I want to see more of CM Punk. Now that he's healthy, get him out there.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to see. I don't think he should wrestle every week. You know, he's old and like you know, what did Drew call him? Fragile, or maybe I think Seth might call him that too. Anyway, we don't want him to get injured, but I do agree. Like at least like once a month, like just wrestle on a Raw, just you know, beat up somebody. You know,
Right.
I don't know. Him and Gable would be cool. I mean, there's a ton of people on the roster. Show up on NXT real quick.
It's just how does that work now? Like, where do we go from here? Is that like we know that the storyline is between him and Seth, Drew as like a subsidiary in the storyline now. So they're not going to have him fight anybody. Like nobody's really going to step up to CM Punk. Like it's not going to happen. So
I mean,
it would be very interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can have a scene where he's he's talking to Pierce. He's like, I want Drew. He's like, Drew's not here. And a random heel comes up, makes fun of him, and then you get a match real quick. Like if it was on SmackDown, that's how like him and Carmelo Hayes would probably fight, because that's what Carmelo invades people's backstage stuff all the time and just talk shit. So just like if it's just like a quick 1v1 exhibition and like with no storyline, there's ways you could set it up just for it to make sense. But yeah, I agree that he should at least wrestle on a Raw. It's a or again, like you can go to NXT real quick on the CW or when they get on October 1st or some shit, you know. Also, real quick, the ref cam. How do you feel about the ref cam?
Yeah, it was interesting.
It was interesting.
I'm all for like the different production angles like that. That's kind of cool. I thought that I think I seen they had fell out of like Seth's ear during this match. So he just like was like fuck it. But it was a very interesting angle. I don't think I need to see refs POV though. I'm not really like looking for that.
Yeah, I will not. I will not type that in the search button on Pornhub. Absolutely not. I'm good.
Yeah, unless like the ref was like in the action, but refs are not in the action typically. Like it's a lot of like sliding in 3 counts or false 2s. Like just I don't know. I get it, experimenting, but I don't need it.
Yeah, no, I feel it. Yeah, okay. So next match we get Gunther versus Damian Priest, and it gets straight to the violence.
Best match of the night,
man. This match,
best match of the night.
Another match that just is like, I tried not to have expectations in it because it just blew my expectations. They was fucking cooking, like him and Gunther. Like it's like, man, I want to see this again. It was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good, and no crazy. Almost breaking your leg or not kicking out or some shit. Nothing crazy happened. It was just a really good fucking match.
It was. And I knew it was good because I got it not in my feels, but I was like, man, fuck this shit at the end. But it was hella good. It was cool to see Priest go, you know, bar for bar with Gunther. Mm-hmm. He's drawing blood. Mm-hmm. Like he's the one like, you know, initiating the offense here. To like so much of the Gunther's like, oh shit, I didn't know you had this in you. Like
yeah,
this is who you is. Like
shit out of Gunther. Like I don't think anyone's ever hit Gunther.
Put the fort. Hit him like that.
That shit was wild.
Like he usually doing the hit. Fuck. God damn it. He's usually the one doing like the hitting over here. He's the one smacking people around and shit. So like to see him on the defense, like, oh, this is what this shit feels like. You know what? I don't like this shit. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go and. Let me readjust and reevaluate some shit over here. But Priest is like just doing well, man. Like the South of Heaven, the Razor's Edge in this match. Like he's going nuts. There is one part of this match that I did not understand.
Okay.
And it comes with like the setup of Finn interfering.
Mm-hmm.
As he does the move, he pushes Gunther towards the ropes. And that's what allows Finn to grab Gunther's leg and puts it on the rope. And I'm like, why did he could just pinned him where he was at. And I get it for storyline purposes. You gotta, like, Finn has a spot. He has a spot that he has to pull. But it's just like, you set up the rope break on the leg, like by pushing him over to the ropes. Like that's weird to me. Like
it's not good in-ring awareness, you could say. It's like that's not a veteran move,
especially because like everybody's like, oh, "I'm gonna pin you square in the ring, in the middle of the ring. That's where I'm gonna pin you." But this nigga like, I don't like this spot. Let's just roll you over. Like it was just a little interesting there. I get it because, like I said, it sets up Finn in the turn of Finn. But it was just that was the only spot I did not understand. Other than that, great fucking match, bro.
Yeah.
Gunther is he's just fucking nuts. He's in there with that category of you can work anybody.
Yeah. I tweeted about it yesterday, and it's like he's one of the greatest wrestlers ever, and I mean that right now. Like he's not even at his peak. Like you could literally take him. Like you can literally go back in time and put him in any era, and he would fit in. You could put him in the 80s, he would fit in. You could put him somewhere in the 90s, he would fit in. Like the way his work style is, the way his physique is, and the way he carries himself, you could put him back in the fucking 60s, and he would still fucking work. He's just generational talent.
That's the word. He's 1,000% generational, and it made me fantasy book in my head Bryan Danielson Gunther.
Man, that would have been.
That's it.
That would have been.
That's the match. That's like you could put that generational match anywhere, and it would have been great. It can still happen. Let's come on. Let's work it out somehow, please. To get Gunther in the ring with Bryan Danielson and just the chop fest, the technical wrestling side of it, like it would be fucking crazy.
Yeah,
because they fit each other's energy. Mm-hmm. The ultimate like baby face who's going to play on like the neck injury, the just brute house who doesn't give a fuck about your feelings, and Gunther, like it would have been great. Yeah. So we're gonna throw that one in the air.
Yeah,
most of the stuff that we even talked about on the podcast has been happening at some point in time. I just want you to know that we have had some really good predictions.
Yeah.
So let's just throw that one out there. Let that one come back to us. How do we feel about Priest's reign? And then how do we feel about Gunther going forward?
Okay. I think Priest's reign, I think it was fine. I don't think it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad either. I think he had some cool opponents, and he solidified himself as someone who can be at the top. I'm not mad at it. Also, and we talked about this before, typically people who cash in, they don't usually have long reigns. Anyway, he had I think it was like 119 days or something like that, or 118. Mm-hmm. I think it was good. I'm not mad at it. I think it was good. As far as Gunther, he doesn't need to wrestle every week. I mean, he already doesn't, but I also don't want a Roman Reigns type thing to where we only see him every like 3 weeks or some shit. And as far as like how long he should keep it, maybe Mania or maybe before. Like I could picture him losing it like at Rumble and then winning the Rumble and then getting a rematch or some shit. Maybe he goes up to Cody then, or I don't know. But we don't need a 800-day reign. We don't need another repeat of his IC reign. That's all I know.
Okay. How I see it, I think Priest stays in the main event level. I don't think Priest losing the belt drops into mid card. I think he's a main event player. I think he's proved that he's a main event player. Let's keep him up here. As far as like the reign, let's just take a look at it. Mania cash in. He has Jey Uso in France, which was a good match. He had Drew at Clash. And that was when like Punk comes and interferes there.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the Money in the Bank match versus Seth. Drew tries to cash in, then Punk interference here. And then he loses to Gunther. Once again, I just needed a match to go off without a hitch. And the only one I think did that was the Jey Uso match. It was just a one-on-one. But even then, I think that was the one where he was like, he didn't need Judgment Day. What are you guys doing out here? I don't need y'all. I just want a one-on-one match similar to where, like the Cody AJ, where it was just the champ going all out, that kind of thing. So on my rating, I'm gonna give it like 2.5, 2.7 for me. I just wanted to see Priest go out there and improve, and he was doing it in just little spurts, and it was just never in like a full match until this match. Actually, this match was also good, so maybe it's like a 3 for sure. As far as like Gunther, I want them to do the traditional Survivor Series thing where it's champion versus champion. If we can get Gunther Cody at Survivor Series, like just 1v1, I don't need to see Gunther Cody at Mania. I can live with the Survivor Series of the champion versus champion. I think that'd be really dope to see. As far as like who goes against Gunther, no idea. This is going to be one of those generational runs where he's going to be the ultimate heel, and this is what you need for Raw, especially going to like the Netflix era. He's carrying it through Netflix.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gunther should be champion by Netflix, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I think it will.
And the pop at Bash at the Berlin is gonna be fucking nuts.
Man,
that's gonna be fucking crazy.
Man,
like,
for
real. Yeah, I don't know who you put against them, but they are not ready.
No.
They're not gonna be ready at all.
No, they probably should put a heel against them just because he's gonna get babyface pops at his hometown. Some, I don't know, maybe like a Bronson Reed or something. Someone, I don't know, a heel. I would say like Finn, but you could do Finn. I don't know.
You could, but I would also think like Finn's next match is going to be against Priest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We didn't talk about it, but Priest breaking out the sleeper to go and choke Finn out is pure hatred. The running gag seems to be nobody can focus on their opponent. No, in WWE right now.
Like once you let your emotions get like, and that's the second time. Like Priest had 2 like comebacks where like he was getting choked out, or he saw Finn get hit, and that like woke him up, and
popped him up,
and then then he got betrayed by Finn, and that also popped him up.
Yeah.
Like speaking of power
gag
bombs,
in WWE,
Gunther powerbomb the fuck out of Priest. That shit was fucking.
Yes, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to find some Gunther merch, man. That dude he's just fucking dope. Yeah, the running gag is definitely nobody focusing. It's all Roman's fault. Roman and Seth kicked off this trend of like losing focus of like your opponent in the match. Yeah, I don't know what it is with y'all, but y'all got to focus up. You know who wouldn't do nothing like that? Actually, no, everybody would do some shit like that. Nah, Carmelo Hayes is not, losing focus. Hayes gonna take the pin. He gonna finish you and then handle you over here. I'm gonna say my man Carmelo not gonna lose focus.
Real quick, because I did make a joke about this. Man, you knew Gunther was sick seeing all those ads in that ring, bro. That shit.
What you mean?
All those ads in the ring, not just the Prime logo, but they had the
Straight Talk, the Wingstop.
Yeah. There were so many. I was like, God damn, it looks like a NASCAR or one of those. What sport is it?
Like a soccer jersey.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 advertisers. Like, you knew he was sick, bro. You gotta keep the ring sacred, at least for his matches. Put a carpet on that shit.
Put a carpet. Cover this up, man. That's funny. There were some ads in there.
I mean, eventually, like, I don't even. That's like. It's one of those things, because we talked about it when they first ever did the Prime logo. It's like you notice it at first, and then all of a sudden it's just you don't notice it at all. It's.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had to comment on it because we got to keep the ring sacred in this bitch.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it for sure. They out there selling cell phone plans and chicken wings. It's like
and Prime.
I guess I do got to pay my phone bill. I am hungry, but fuck, like let's figure something out. Main event. Solo versus Cody, Bloodline Rules, which was agreed to on the SmackDown prior.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to briefly talk about
the
new tag team champions.
Yeah. Fatu and Tama Tonga. They won. They beat DIY on SmackDown in the main event. Terrible decision. I know why they did. I understand. You wanted to give us some doubt that Cody would lose. You wanted us to, it's a red herring, but fuck, man. I don't understand that decision really like that. It's Johnny and Chip, 29 days. We couldn't even
29 days.
They couldn't even get a full month. I mean, well, if it's in February, so yeah, whatever. But I don't know. But I don't know. It's they'll get it back.
Nah.
I think they'll get it back for sure.
They should have just won it at Mania. Like, just do that, bro. They would have had a way better run than Waller in Theory if you just let them win it at Mania. Like, what was the whole purpose of this? Because you were building them up. They're great tag team. They have great fucking chemistry. They then set up this crazy promo for Johnny G before the match where, like, his wife's there, his kid's there. He's talking about, this is my home. These are my people out there. And they're popping, bro. Mm-hmm. It's fucking up. And he come out and he loses his belt in front of his hometown. Doesn't even get to be on the pay-per-view. What did Johnny G do to deserve this, man? What's going on here?
Well, for starters, he's from Cleveland. So if he would have just not been from Cleveland. Yeah, okay, like
no transitional champs, bro. That's tough.
Yeah,
man.
transitional is it's kind of tough. But
they didn't make no merch for these niggas.
No, they didn't. Yeah, you probably did. I don't think they did. Damn, that's well. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I know why. I understand why they did it, but I think it's a bad decision. Because who's going to beat the Bloodline? I mean, spoiler, but it looks like Fatu is wearing a boot, so we don't know if they're going to freebird the belts and have Eye Patch wrestle or not.
Number 2.
And it's like, yeah, man, I don't know. It's like you put it back on the fact, like we had this whole Avengers Endgame shit this whole last year, finally dethroning the Bloodline, and then Bloodline have the belts again. Judgment Day have their belts again.
But just a circle.
Yeah.
For what, bro?
Yeah.
I completely forgot Judgment Day's the tag team champs. I forgot about that, but you are right. The whole purpose of getting from Jay and Jimmy to then Sammy KO, then to Judgment Day, then to Mania, Truth, Theory and Waller, back to Judgment Day, and then back to Bloodline. Like within 2 years, maybe? And it's not like the reigns were crazy. It's not like we had like historic matches with the tag belts, because half the time they're on one team for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, I get it. It's undeniable. Jacob Fatu is undeniable. You can't like not do anything with them, but he also doesn't need a belt. No. And the Bloodline storyline doesn't need a belt. But the story is going to be Bloodline, new Bloodline versus old Bloodline. So Jimmy J going to end up getting those tag belts at some point in time. It's just why are we regurgitating the same cycle and acting like it's brand new?
Yeah, for
real. But yeah, let's just talk about Cody Solo.
Cody gets a cool walkout, and we get Arn Anderson.
He does.
Right.
Arn is back in WWE, which is a great sight to see. Shout out to Arn Anderson. Hopefully he brought the Glock, because you're gonna need it.
Yeah. Pop the trunk on him.
He said something interesting. He says something to the effect of like, I made some calls to like some locker rooms to get you some help while you're going to get some Samoan boys, even from like some other locker rooms. That was something that he had said. So I was like, oh, okay. Cody's definitely not going to be out there by himself. He's going to get some help for sure.
Yeah. I saw people online be like, oh, Ricky Starks? Like, I don't know, you guys.
I mean, the way Ricky been shooting on the internet, it seems like the writing's in the sand, but, anything can be a work.
Yeah.
Or, leverage for another contract.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Arn Anderson. Cody also walking out with his dog. Pharaoh says this is the last time Pharaoh will be on the road with him, so he wanted to have this walkthrough with his dog, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And then we get like Cody's entrance. I don't like the mask for Cody. The skull mask just seems it's weird to me. I think it's almost too big, but that's just me personally. If I'm thinking more so on the element, I guess he can't do the Shao Kahn because that's like what Triple H had with like the half skull. But it's a minor detail. I don't like the mask. Other than that, Big Pop as usual. We also completely skipped over Solo's entrance, but it's all right. We know what time it is.
He just walked out.
We know what time it is. Yeah. What do we feel about this? How do we feel about the matches? How do we feel?
So I will say this. It was a good match. Before we get all the interference and stuff, I thought Solo was working really good. This was his, like, he put on his working boots, or does he?
He was working.
Does he still wrestle barefoot?
No, he had on boots.
Okay, yeah, because he used to wrestle barefoot. That shit was weird. Yeah, man, he looked good. This was, you could easily say this was his best match. Obviously he's going to get Cody. Yes. Cody's going to make you look good. But yeah, man, he looked good. So I think everyone should give him a little golf clap on that. The match was not bad. Eventually Bloodline comes out, and that's when we start getting shenanigans. But before that, I think it was a really solid match between them.
Bro, we gotta put some respect on just Solo in the aspect of like, Bloodline saga ends at Mania. Jay goes this way. You still got Jimmy for a little bit, but Jimmy gets injured. Jimmy got to go, and then they point at somebody like, "Nah, you got to carry this storyline until he get back." Solo, the guy who did not talk, has to carry the Bloodline legacy as the villain until Roman gets back. Like, that's a lot of pressure, and he actually did that pretty well. Like, from the I'll be sometimes sketchy, promos of like the long-winded promos of terrorizing people, especially Paul Heyman. Like, Solo did a lot of work. That's a hard ball to give to you, and you got to carry it. That's like, fuck, I don't even know what the equivalent is. It's like Kobe retiring. You got to carry the Lakers. Like, that's insane. That's a lot of fucking pressure for somebody to carry on this legacy of the Bloodline. So I will give him a lot of credit for that.
And there were some misses. There were some misses too. Like, we talked about, like, that weird breathing speak thing that he was doing. But there's been some hits too. I agree with you.
Yeah. In this match, he showed out. Like, he was definitely the enforcer and was definitely leading a lot of the offense in this match. He was doing really good fucking work. The Uranagi spot, the actual sitting talking in the ring. Like, I got to quote it right here. What did he say? Beat your ass in front of your family. It's hilarious to hear from like the ringside mics, yo. Like, he's actually in there talking and just being like the villain and just talking shit to Cody. Like, I like it, man. I like it a lot. Like, he did a really dope job. Cody had a dope superplex in this. The moonsault into the crossbody was also hard. Yep. Like, it was dope. Then we get to the part where everything picks up as Cody gives Solo Cody cutter. We then get Tama and Tonga coming out. So this is where like the interference happens. Your boy's out there with his eye patch, stomping on people and shit. Then we get KO comes out to save. Randy also comes out to save. And then it's like, okay, well, there's still Fatu, which eventually Fatu does come out. And he's putting beats on Cody too. Prior to that, Cody was also using the steps, steel steps to like piece out Solo, which is crazy because like the last time we seen Cody with the steps was against AJ, and he didn't hit him. This time he picked up steps and was like, no, somebody gonna get hit.
Yeah.
So Cody's definitely going full-fledged all offense in this. And then you're right, we do get Solo. Or not Solo, but Jacob comes in, and Jacob is just, like, once again, just undeniable, bro. The moonsaults, the fucking...
Whisper in the Winds.
Samoan drops, like, Whisper in the Winds, like, the motherfucking splash, bro. Like, he's different. This is different. This is a different individual, bro. It's like a multiverse of Spider-Mans, and this one person over here actually has the Venom symbiote, and you're like, what the fuck? He like us, but he not like us. Like, he's different over here. Like, the dude is dope, man. And as he hits the splash, he's looking at Solo like, get him, like, throw his man in the ring, like, finish the dude off, which is also similar to
Mania when Solo did the Roman.
Yeah, Mania. With Solo did it for Roman. Now I think about it, this all seems like a replay of Mania.
You know,
just actually,
was the Force Awakens not just a replay of episode 4? You know,
they niggas think they slick, bro. They garner the same reaction from Mania. They think they slick. Surprise, surprise, big pop.
Man,
the man is back,
and the music is tweaked. I was liking it though. I need to hear it in I need to hear it in the car, and I need to do the headphone test. But the music, it was hitting.
Big draw, big pop, needle mover. Man, is here.
The big dog, baby. The tribal chief, the only tribal chief, the original tribal chief.
OTC, only tribal chief, original tribal. It don't matter.
The O can mean
Omega
anything.
Tribal Chief.
Yeah,
it can mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
That man is here. That pop was crazy.
Man,
the mana, the goosebumps,
the
mana. it was live in that bitch for sure. Yeah. As he comes to the ring, you know, the speculation is like, who is he going to hit? Is he going to hit Cody? Is he going to hit Solo? Who gets the first punch? And Superman punches Solo, which you can kind of see also like hurt him because like, fuck, bro, this is family. The whole purpose of this was me building my family, but you out here disrespecting the streets, bro, and I gotta handle you.
I mean, he hurt, yeah, because like he hurt the wise man. He's been talking cash shit in the last couple of weeks.
Talking crazy. You've been doing promos, calling me out. Like, I gotta come out here and handle you real quick. And as he does it, he's looking at Cody like, I should handle your punk ass too. But you know what? There's bigger issues right now, man. I gotta fry homie up. I'm coming back.
Yeah.
And the level of like, you know, the emotional or like just the emotional look on Cody's face is like, oh fuck, like this dude he's back. I don't know if he wants to come after me. I haven't seen this dude since I beat him. Like it's just a lot of storytelling here. But you can definitely see that the story's not finished between Roman and Cody, not by a long shot. We won't get that anytime soon, I think. But like, they gonna run that back.
Yeah,
again.
Maybe the Saudi show or something. But I'm like, yeah, there's so many different things that they can play.
I don't think you can, bro. I don't think you can have Roman go against Cody for the title and him lose. I think there's no way. That the man is moving different, bro.
Yeah.
From the numbers alone, we saw this morning.
Oh man, yeah.
800,000 in an hour, bro. Like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And limited edition belts.
Most of that
sold out $500 to $599 a pop, bro.
Yeah, and most of that's from our rich ass friend DT. This man got money.
Yeah. That nigga a baddie. That nigga over there. I don't know what's going on with him, but
man, he gonna have to
live your life.
$20. But
man, that nigga selling size 13 feet pics on OnlyFans. Yeah, man. Like he's moving, bro. Yeah. If there was any doubt of who was the number one guy in WWE, it's over with.
Oh yeah,
you know it, and that's what it brings it back to my. It brings me back to my point to where like you can't have him on the same show with Cody. He's going to eat up air, bro. Like it's different. Like he's just you can't have that. You can't have a champion compete with that because then you're gonna be looking at like, no, this guy should be the champ. And now we're back in the same situation we was in before. I think you got to keep them separate, bro.
Yeah, you got to keep them separate. I think my last night prediction was because like you said, there's so many storylines that could happen. I think we're going to get a tag match with Cody and Roman versus somebody, and I think that's going to make Kevin Owens and Randy eventually upset, which is when we're going to spiral into the Randy KO thing or Randy Cody thing. But seeing Roman and Cody do a tag match is going to be next level. Also, just like will they, won't they, can they trust each other? But it's also like fucking. It's like seeing Captain America work with Superman or some shit. Like you got these two powerhouses, and they have to work together. But can they work together? And then eventually it's going to have to spin off to where Roman is doing his own thing. But I think maybe this next month or so they're probably going to be in the same orbit for at least a little bit.
It's gonna be awkward.
Yeah,
awkward indeed.
Until they can figure out how to split, have them go separate ways so that and they're still meaningful. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we talked about it multiple times. Like. When it comes to like when Roman was the champion, like Bloodline they will take up at least 40 minutes of TV time.
Easy.
And yeah, now with Cody as the champion, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they maneuver it and how the shows are booked.
And maybe
Yeah.
maybe this was the train that they were trying to avoid anyway with Cody just fighting Seth, because they knew that, like, if we can keep you over here, you won't have to run into this train. We're trying to save you long term.
Mm-hmm.
But now Cody has to go head on with the return of Roman Reigns and like what people want to see. Like that SmackDown, if Roman don't come out first and it's Cody, it's gonna feel a little interesting. Big Dog's back, bro. He opened the show. He coming in closing shows. Like, that's what the people pay to see. He's the biggest draw. It's just I don't know how you fit Cody into that. Like I don't know. I've never seen it. Like,
I think him and Roman are going to work together for a little bit, and then they'll figure out a way to separate them. But I think they're going to be orbited. I don't know if they should fight again. I agree with you on that, because I don't think Roman should lose again. Even with interference, it's still I don't think we should fight again. But I think they will do a tag match for sure, and I think they'll be in the same orbit for at least a month or two until they can figure out how to split these people up, and but not fuck up like how the show is paced, because if the show has a good pace with it, and I don't know. Somebody got to go to Raw. Something fuck.
When they do this, like if they do this hypothetical tag team, and it's Cody Roman, do we look at it like, oh, it's Jacob Fatu solo, or does it have to be Fatu Rock solo kind of thing? Because I think Cody Roman tagging against Jacob and Solo is not enough. Like, there has to be an equally bigger bad on the other side of that.
I feel like it could be enough. Oh, speaking of, because we kind of skipped over it. When Fatu put Cody through the table, it looked like he injured his foot and or shin, and he's currently in a boot, so we do not know how long he will be injured. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there.
And do we know if that's a work or not? Like, I don't know, honestly. I don't know if it's a work. I don't know if
he was pictured.
They were trying to protect him.
He was pictured after the show, like he took pictures with some fans in like a store, and he was wearing a boot. Not to say that you can't. I mean, it's TBD, but because people do sell, like homie's still wearing that eye patch, and Cody was wearing a sling for like weeks, even though Brock Lesnar for sure didn't.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know. It's given real, but it's always work. I mean, it could always be a work.
Okay, it could always be a work. If he is injured, that would suck. If he's not injured, I also understand the idea of like, we want them to lock up on a pay-per-view for the first time. I don't want Roman touching Jacob until it's like the Survivor Series, like SmackDown or whatever. Like, because you're trying to protect that image of Jacob Fatu, especially the fact that this man be no-selling everything. So, like, I think the first move that actually he doesn't no-sell is like a Superman punch. Like, that would make the most sense,
Yeah.
But yeah, Big Dog's back, man. I'm excited. This is going to be very, very interesting leading into Survivor Series in November. So we got, about 12 weeks of like build up here, which doesn't seem like a lot of time. But I think the next big one is Rock coming at Survivor Series. I think the trip from LA to Vancouver is not that far. I think with a lot of the filming that happens in Hollywood, it also happens in Vancouver, BC. So he's probably pretty familiar with the area.
Yeah. And I don't think he's filming anything. I mean, he finished his last film, so I think right now he's just going to be doing press tour stuff. So it should work out. It should work.
Yeah. Out. So I'm gonna call out a Rock spotting at Survivor Series, and then that builds up the Rock Roman for Mania. I definitely think that's probably going to be the main event in Vegas.
I don't see why not.
Overall, if you got to give SummerSlam a number, what's your number?
Out of what?
5.
I'll give it a 5.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Or at least a 4.9. I think they went 7 for 7. Every match was good. Every match was good, to my opinion. And there was a lot of stories. Like we said, it's a small reset, but also like not just with like new champions and stuff, but also like again, man, a lot of stories, a lot of stuff that is we're getting a lot of different storylines that are coming out of this show with the Judgment Day stuff. Roman's back. We've got new champions. Like, I think it was a good show. Wrestling was great. Yeah, I'll give it a 5 or at least a 4.9.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna give it a 4. It's definitely the best PLE since Mania.
Yeah,
and that's how it should be. SummerSlam should be your next best one.
it's the big four. It's one of the big four.
Yeah,
And they treated it like, or it made it seem like they treated it like that. If that makes it like
now will this number change depending on not even like the hypothetical, but like next year when it's 2 days? I think when she split into 2 days, there's more content to like grade. So as of right now, it's definitely a 4. Next year when they do 2 days is going to be very interesting too.
we're just gonna rate it like how we do Mania. It's like night 1 was better, or night 2 was better, and why was it better?
You're right.
It's gonna be the same thing.
All right, people. That was our SummerSlam episode. Let us know how you guys feel. Don't forget to leave comments, ratings. Let us know like how you felt about like Roman coming back. Are you a Roman fan? Are you a Cody fan? We want to know. Thank you to all the listeners who's checking us out. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeart. Like wherever you're listening. Thank you. We definitely appreciate it. We will definitely be back for the next episode, which I believe is either episode 24, which is back to our regular scheduled programming where we go over SmackDown, Raws, Dynamites, some wrestling questions in between. You never know. Definitely keep up with us. Follow us on our socials at Twitter, at the Monday Night Wave. Yeah, man. Yeah. Tune in with us. Tap in. But other than that, we're gonna get out of here. It's been real. We will catch you guys later. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Too sweet.